Yeah, thank you very much for joining us for this particular lesson. And I believe you enjoyed our lesson on the design tab. So this particular lesson, we will be focusing on the layout or page layout tab. But before I proceed, I don't want us to lose sight of the objective of what we are doing. The objective is to equip you with all the requisite IT skill sets on the office suite to help you become efficient worker in any corporate organization and as a good student in any tertiary institution. So this is my MOS Master Certificate. I got that in 1st January 2017. So I have to go through Word Expert, Excel Expert, and PowerPoint. You can verify that by using the credential identification code. So enough of that, and I hope you would also achieve what I've achieved. Okay. So let's continue. So we are still using our previous exercise file. So from your screen, you'll be delving deeper into the layout, how to use the tools. Then I'll focus on the page setup group, then later move on to the paragraph, then we look at the arrange. Okay, so basically under the page setup group, we are within the layout because we are working with the layout of our sheet, hence the reason behind going to the layout tab. So if it's about the margins of your paper or of that particular sheet that you selected, then you can come here and change the margins to an appropriate one suited for the job. So if it's moderate, you click, you get a preview of it. So the same applies to the other options, so you can see from your screen. So if you don't like what you see here, then you go to custom margins. So most of our level 400 students in the various universities normally have certain specific demarcations for their project work, probably 2 inches to the top and left and probably 1 inch right and bottom. So you can change all these values and see what's going to happen. And there is this thing I want us to take a critical look at, which is the gutter. So anytime you print books, you realize that after doing the combining, you find it difficult reading the text, so you have to literally destroy what you've done. So if you are a proficient user of Word, you know that, okay, let me provide room for combining. So that is where you use the gutter. So let's say I'll do a gutter of what? An inch, then I'll click on OK. So once I do that, the system takes that into consideration. Then we can see from the screen. So once you do the combining, it will not affect the rest of the text. Then we also have what? Orientation. So what I'll do is I'll reduce my zoom size. Then we can change the orientation of our page to landscape or portrait. So by default, it is what? Portrait. Then you can change it to what? Landscape. Then as I change, everything changes. Okay, so we look at a situation where you only want one page being portrait, the other page being what? A landscape. Then we also talk about what size. So the size could be A4, it could be A3, depending on your preference. So by default it is letter. So we will look at A4, which is our standard here in Ghana. Then we also have columns. So by default it's in just one column, so you can make it 2 columns. That's what you get. If you want 3 columns, you can also do that. So as you do that, it affects everything. So left, then we have what? Right. Then once you see more columns with those ellipses, that is the 3 dots, it means there is more to this particular function. So why don't we click on it? So you click, then we can even put a line in between and adjust the width and spacing. So in the Microsoft exam, you may be required to at least go perform some of these tasks. You click, you do it, and that makes you a specialist. Then you click on OK, it gives you that. So that is for the column. So I'll revert back to one column. So what if I don't want it to affect all the pages but just a portion? So I only select the portion I want, then I come to columns, then I select what? 2. So this time around it will not affect all the pages, but it only affect the selected page. So I'll go back to 1. Then earlier when we change the orientation, everything changed. So look at this portrait, everything changes. Okay, because I've inserted a column break. So you later talk about column breaks and all of that because of the what I did earlier. Okay, that's fine. So I'll go back, undo what I did. Okay, undo. That is the Control Z. You press Control Z on the keyboard. Okay, so when you come to orientation, when I do a portrait, everything changes to portrait. When I do a landscape, everything changes to landscape. What if I only want the first page being portrait and the remaining pages being landscape? So this is where you use the word breaks under the layout. So we have page break, column break, text wrapping. Then we also have section break, which is what next page, continuous, even page, and what odd pages. So let me throw more light into this. So whenever you get a book, the book is normally divided into sections. So section 1, we have this, that. Then you go to section 2. Good. So in a situation where you want one section to be portrait and the remaining to be landscape, then you insert what next page, section break. So you need to have your insertion point blinking at the end of the last line of this particular document on this particular first page. So I come here, then I insert what section break, next page. It's been inserted, but you cannot see it, and the reason being that it's a what non-printing what character. So let me zoom it to 100%. Then I'll go back to my layout tab. So because it's a non-printing character, how would you know you've inserted a break? You go to Home tab, then you come to Show Hide Non-Printing Characters. So now we can see the section break. Okay, perfect. So I'll hide it, then it's gone. Then I'll come to Layout, then I'll come and click on the next page and change the orientation. So I'll reduce it for you to see what is happening over here. So once I change the orientation to portrait, automatically this first page is a section that has been broken from the rest of the pages in that sense. Yes, so we have this particular feature. So assuming, okay, you want this portrait, you want the next page portrait, then I come down. So I want the portrait up to this point. So if you want the portrait up to this point, then you need to insert another section break. So I'll select next page, section break, it's inserted. Then I'll click on this page and change it to what landscape. So once I do that, everything changes in that particular order, like that. So I will zoom in to 100%. Then I come to my pages in my navigation pane. So you see, as I go through it, all these are landscape. I move up, this is portrait, and that is landscape. So I'll need you to explore these options for the breaks. Then let's look at the line numbers, and this is what I'm thinking most of the lawyers in our country and all over the world use when it comes to making argument in the law court. So instead of manually writing line number 1, line number 2, line number 3, that is, if you're telling the judge, Your Honor, kindly go to line number 2 or 3 of this particular document, then the judge can easily get to that particular sentence. So you just come in here, click on line numbers, and you say what continuous. So once you select continuous, automatically the system will number all the lines for you. So if you are a law student, you can take advantage of this. Because I've inserted the section breaks, that's why it is not affecting the other page. So I'll have to insert it again, line numbers, then I'll say what continuous. Then I move in that order. So that is I think a powerful feature you need to explore more. So keep on exploring. Then I'll give you this assignment to delete the section break. So if you want to delete the section break, you go to Home, you go to Show Hide Non-Printing Characters. Then I can go back and do the deletion. Okay, so here I have my section break down here. So once I can highlight. Once it's showing, then I hit delete on my keyboard. So you use the shift and the right arrow key to highlight, then you use delete on the keyboard to delete it. So I'm going to do that. Shift and the right arrow key, then I hit delete on my keyboard. Then you see the section break has been removed. Then the document comes back to its normal setting. So I'll go back and delete this section break as well. So there is one here as well. So shift and my right arrow key, then I'll hit what? This delete on the keyboard. So this is how you delete what? Section breaks. And I know it's very simple. You just need more time to practice and understand it. So that is for the page setup group. Then we do have what? Hyphenation. So whenever we are writing, gone are the days when we used to write in our textbooks. Then if I'm writing because and I'm almost at the end of the line and the word cannot fit, I try to put a hyphen, then I write BE and come and continue with a CAUSE on a different line. So you can adjust for hyphenation, let the system hyphenate it for you. So once you click on hyphenation, automatically the system will try to do that for you to save you more space. So produced here in this particular instance, let me move this. Produce here in this particular instance is hyphenated like this. Yes, so you can see PRO then hyphen produced. So if I go back and take that option off, I'll say none, automatically the PRO will join the next line. So that is for the layout group, the page setup group. So let's look at the dialog box launcher, which gives us more additional commands. Let's see what is there. So just like the margins, where we went to the margins, you saw this. So paper, so there are a lot of options you can explore. So I'm going to leave that to you for you to explore, and let's try to be productive with these Microsoft tools. So if you enjoyed the lesson, please let me know, and if you have questions, you can just leave them in our Google Classroom platform, where we can discuss and share ideas on how best we can use the Office application to boost productivity at our various workplaces. So the next lesson, I will be focusing on the paragraph group under the layout tab or page layout. Then we'll later look at our range. Then that's basically sums up the lesson on the layout. So let's go be productive and let's help bridge the digital divide. Please stay safe. Wash your hands with soap. Thank you. God bless.